to the Ethiopians, are ye not as the children of Ethiopia unto me, O children of Israel? These are black nations he's naming. Then we go back to the book of Isaiah, the 11th chapter. We go back there to the 11th chapter of Isaiah. Everybody have it? It says in the book of Isaiah, the 11th chapter, the 10th verse.
And in that day there shall be a root of Jesse, which shall stand for an sign of the people. To it shall the Gentiles seek, and his rest shall be glorious. And it shall come to pass in that day that Yahweh shall set his hand again the second time to recover the remnant of his people, which shall be left from Assyria, and from Egypt, and from Pathros, and from Cush, and from Elam, and from Shinar, and from Hamath, and from the islands of the sea. And he shall set up an ensign for the nations, and shall assemble the outcasts of Israel, and gather together the dispersed of Yehudah from the four corners of the earth. The envy also of Ephraim shall depart, and the adversaries of Yehudah shall be cut off. Ephraim shall not envy Yehudah, and Yehudah shall not vex Ephraim. But they shall fly upon the shoulders of the Philistines toward the west. They shall spoil them of the east together.
All right, you understand what's being said? If not, I'm going to reiterate on a couple of verses. According to Isaiah, the 11th chapter, the Creator says in verse 11, that it shall come to pass, meaning futuristic, in that day, and anytime it says that day, it's always pertaining to the last day, that Yahweh will set his hand again the second time to recover the remnant of his people, which shall be left from Assyria, which is in Africa, Egypt, which is in Africa, Patras, which is in Africa, Cush, or Ethiopia, which is in Africa, and from Elam, and from Shinar, and from Hamas, which is in Africa, and from the isles of the sea, dealing with the various islands, Barbados, Trinidad, Jamaica, and the various isles that our people have been scattered with. Yah said he's going to take his hand again the second time and bring us home from there. And then he says, and he shall set up an ensign for the nations, and they shall assemble the outcasts of Israel, and gather together the dispersed of Yehudah from the four corners of the earth. The envy also of Ephraim shall depart, and the adversaries of Yehudah shall be cut off. And Ephraim shall not envy Yehudah, and Yehudah will not vex Ephraim, but they shall fly upon the shoulders of the Philistines toward the west. Turn up the air. Toward the west. And they shall spoil them with the east together. They shall lay their hand upon Edom and Moab, and the children of Ammon shall obey them. And Yahweh shall utterly destroy the tongue of the Egyptian sea with his mighty wind, and he shall shake his hand over the rivers, and smite it into 7 streams, and make men go over a dry pot. And there shall be an highway for the remnant of his people, which shall be left from Assyria, like it was to Israel in the day that they came out of Egypt. Here again, the Creator speaks about how he's going to recover his people from all these lands out of Africa and what they have now named the Mid-East. And he's going to bring his people out from those areas. None of these areas were in Europe. And when the Creator mentions his people, at no time in the book did he mention a Gentile as his people. No time did he mention a European as his people. He mentioned the various lands, all of them in Africa, and what they call the Mideast. All the people that he identified his people with, the Assyrians, the Egyptians, the Ethiopians, all of them are black nation, because Israel is a black nation. Now, do you think that the Almighty would have cursed a man and turned that man white, and then took his holy people and made them in the same complexion as he made a man that he cursed? If the Almighty was white, if his angels were white, and if his chosen people, the house of Israel, were white, the Almighty would have never cursed nobody and turned them the color that he is. Because the Creator says he is beautiful. He is the personification of beauty. The Creator himself is only described once in the Bible, and at one time he describes himself as being black with woolly hair. And that one description is in the book of Daniel. That's toward the end of the Old Testament, the book of Daniel, the 7th chapter, the 9th verse.
Daniel 7 and 9.
I didn't say read yet. Here, page is turning. People are looking. Everybody's not quite as fast as finding these places as you. And not so fast. Coming down a little bit as you read. Yes, sir.
Daniel 7 verse 9. I beheld till the thrones were cast down, and the Ancient of Days did sit, whose garment was white as snow, and the hair of his head like the pure wool.
Like pure wool. The hair of his head like the pure wool. Now, this is how the Creator is described as having hair like pure wool. And then what did the Creator say about himself? In the book of Isaiah 33 and 17, it says,
Thine eyes shall see the King in his beauty. They shall behold.
Thy eyes shall see the King in his beauty.
They shall behold the land that is very far off.
The King in his beauty, and the King is Yah. And also, Psalms 50 and 1 says, says in this book of Psalms,